Hey everybody, welcome back to Runaway Roses. Today, I just got some projects going on. We're getting ready to go on a trip, and I got some things I'm going to do on the truck and the camper. So I just thought I'd go over some of those things that I'm doing before we go on a trip, and some of the things that I've already done. So if you want to check that out, stick around. So today, like I said, I just got some projects I'm going to do on the truck. I'm going to change the oil on the truck because I have not done that on this truck since we bought it. It was changed right before we bought it. And I got to put some air in the tires on the truck, some air in the tires on the camper, and I'm going to go over a couple other things that we've already done to the camper and check out a few more things. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by draining the oil on the truck and just kind of let that drain for a little bit, maybe while I go ahead and air up the tires and, you know, do whatever I got to do. So let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry about the noise. I got the heater going up there in the corner of the garage. Just kind of noisy gas heater, but it's really cold outside, so got to get it warmed up in here. So just got to do what I got to do. Since my truck is a diesel 6.7 liter Power Stroke truck, I am going to use the Motorcraft oil, just the 10W30, and I think it takes 12 or 13 quarts of oil. So I got that, and then the Motorcraft filter. See what the part number is here. There's the part number for that. So that's what I'm going to use, change oil, and I'm going to go ahead and crawl underneath and let it start to drain out. Some people use a 5-gallon bucket, so maybe give that a try, see if that fits. It'll be a whole lot easier just to let all of it drain into that without splashing. This thing does get a little splashy sometimes, but it will hold everything. Woo! Thing was tight, really tight. Good thing I had the oil pan down beneath that. It didn't really make too much of a mess. Alright, well, while I'm letting my oil drain out, I'm going to go ahead and put some air in the tires on this truck. These tires are 80 PSI tires, so what I do, I go ahead and I put 80 PSI in the back, cold tire pressure. It's been sitting overnight. So, and then I'm going to put 75, 76 in the front. That's just how I like it. These are big 35-inch tires. I got a lot of sidewall. So putting higher, maxing out the tire pressure in the back, it helps kind of stiffen up the sidewall, and I can notice a difference when we're towing. So that's just how I like to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, get them aired up. Then I'm going to air up the tires on the camper. I do have just the regular tire pressure gauge, the kind that used to use with the dually there with the reverse head on there. This thing seems to be very accurate, but I will double check the tire pressure on the dash to make sure that it's where I want it on the dash. But it does seem to be pretty close. So right now I think I'm around 70, I think. About 68, 70. Alright, I got the front one done. I'm just going to go ahead and put some air in the back one, and then we'll go inside and we'll check it out, see how close we are. I think this one's also around 70. Yeah. Alright, let's check this out. Pretty darn close. Let's go on the truck, see what the dash says. Well, the OCD in me wants to get all the tire pressures exactly the same on the dashboard. It's bad, I shouldn't be that way. But let's check it out. Here we go, I got 76 PSI in the front and 80 in the rear. So, and that is cold tire pressure. So, that's what we're going with. Now I gotta get on the camper, get those tires aired up. Now that I got the air in the truck tires, before I get onto the camper, I'm gonna go ahead and put the drain plug back in for the oil in the truck and put the filter on and get that finished up with the oil in it, and then I'll get onto the camper. First, I'm gonna go ahead and get this new oil filter out. Put a little bit of fresh oil on the seal there, and before I slide underneath the truck, I'll go ahead and put that on and then put the drain plug in and get it filled up. Since this filter does go on just like that, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-oil the filter a little bit because, you know, why not? I'm not gonna fill it up, but I'm gonna put a little bit in there. Clean it up. Didn't make too much of a mess, so that's nice. It's always a good thing. I already wiped the bolt off, but do it again a little bit. All right, time to fill it up. Again, I'm using this Ford Motorcraft 10W30 diesel oil. Got it at an AutoZone. Between these 3 jugs of oil and the oil filter, it was $138. So it's a lot of money, but probably saving $100 over having the dealer do it. So that's a lot of money too. Okay, so I should have about 10 quarts in here so far, so let's go ahead and check it. It's a long dipstick. Woo. All right, well, I got the oil change done. That's good. I'm glad to have that done. I did learn one thing along the way here. I think Ford is pretty smart with the way they package their oil. Since I am using the Ford Motorcraft oil, it's as expensive as this truck is, I'm going to use exactly what Ford recommends, so that's just me. So what I think is pretty cool about this is that they have 1 1/4 gallons is in this jug, as opposed to some of them that are just 1 gallon jugs. So it took exactly 3 of these jugs at 1 1/4 gallons to fill this up. So they knew exactly how much you need to go in each jug, and you need 3 of them, and that's exactly the amount to fill it up. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty smart. All right, I'm gonna get on to the rest of my stuff. Now to move on to airing up the tires in the camper. So these tires on this particular camper are the Goodyear Endurance tires, and they're rated for 80 PSI cold. So that's actually what I set them to. I like to go ahead and max out the air pressure on the tire. Yes, when it gets hot, it will the pressure will go above that, and that's okay. Tires are rated to go above their cold maximum pressure. So, you know, it could get up to 90 PSI, or even sometimes in the summertime, it could get up to, you know, 90, 95 down the hot asphalt and that sort of thing. But so now I'm going to go ahead and put them at 80. I do have the tire minder pressure monitoring system, so I am able to check that while we're traveling. And then when you screw this on, you know, a tiny little bit of air will spew out just for a moment. But so anyhow, it'll be close, 78, 80 when I go ahead and put some air in them. I'm not going to get too specific as far as getting the tire minder out and checking all that. It'll be real close, 78 to 80. Actually, first let me check these. I did notice last time as I was about to say, before the air compressor kicked on, I did notice last time we went camping not too long ago that the air pressure was down quite a bit in the tires, as well as the truck, I guess just from the cold temperatures and that sort of thing, because it's been really cold. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them back to where they need to be. All right, got the tire pressure all set on the camper and the truck. One thing I like to do pretty much at least every 2 years, every year to 2 years, I will get a new drain hose. And because you never know when it could go bad, and that's just one of those things that I always change it out before it goes bad. And I just always get the same Rhino Flex hose here. As you can see, I just got it at Walmart. It was, prices have gone up. I think it was like $38. They used to be around 30 bucks, but so I like the 15 foot. You know, there's obviously different types of hoses you can get, whatever. This is the one I usually, my go-to. Works great. It'll work for, you know, like I said, a year or two with no problems. That's just cheap insurance to get a new hose every year or so, because you don't want to have a problem with that. Usually before a trip, I will go around the camper and I will check all the lugs and make sure they're torqued down. I usually torque mine at 100 pounds, and so I'll check all those. But I just did that. You may have seen my last video on repairing a brake problem that we had here on the camper, on the right hand side of the camper. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. But on my list before we went on a trip was to repack the bearings and try to figure out what was going on with the brakes on this camper, and it was not good. So definitely check that video out. So I was glad to be able to get the bearings, you know, double checked, repacked, and you know, get the brakes fixed, and know that we're good for the season and for this year. So that was on my things to do before we go camping. Got that done, check that off. And I got another thing done, so let's go check that out. The other thing I've been wanting to do on this camper is put some fan covers over the fans on the roof. So I finally got that done a couple days ago. I did not make a video on it, but let me climb up the ladder and show you what I put on. There you go. I put the Aeroflow fan covers on there. I've put these on 2 or 3 other campers, and I really like the way that they install. They install very easily, and I like how they're not big giant things stick up super high. They're kind of flush, and they work well. I don't think that the fan lid can come all the way open, but it comes open 6 or 7 inches or so anyhow, so it opens plenty just fine. So Aeroflow vent covers, actually I got those off Amazon, but I have got them off the Walmart website before. I'll put a link to all the stuff I use in this video down below in case you're looking to buy any of the oil, the Aeroflows here, or whatever. Another thing I like to do before we go traveling, and before I use the hitch, I like to use this blaster or white lithium grease. So basically I just put a light coat on the ball, and it's good enough. Gonna clean up my mess here and get a rag, but just a little bit of grease on the ball is always a good thing. Blaster white lithium. So one of the last things I like to do is pour a few extra gallons down the toilet, just so that water can kind of slosh around down there and clean it out. I may put a cleaner down the toilet as well. You know, it's always good to have a few extra gallons. I did let our black tank clean the Santa flush. I let it run actually for a minute after I had cleaned it last, so I know there's a little bit of water, probably a gallon or 2 in there. I'm gonna put another couple gallons in there, so that way it'll clean it all out. You know, the best thing you can do for a tank is have enough water in there, even over any cleaner. most important thing is having enough water in there, so that way it'll clean it and help keep it from stinking and that sort of thing. And one little tip, if you are going to pour some extra water down there, just pour some cold water down there. Don't pour any hot water down there, because take it from me, if you pour some hot water down there, it'll stir the stink up real fast. So you can go pour this in the toilet. Just gonna pour a little bit of water in there, maybe a little bit more. And what I like to do is we buy these porta pack things from Walmart. They're probably not that great, but they smell pretty good. We do also have some RV digested. I mean, all these things work pretty good. I personally don't like to put the little baggie down in the toilet, so I will just empty the little baggie and then throw it away. Fill it up with some more water and then flush it on down. That way I know it can be cleaning while it's sloshing around going down the road. Well, that's about it for the projects today. Thanks for hanging out with me while I get some of these done. I'm glad to have gotten some of these done, especially like the brakes and the repacking the bearings that I did a week or so ago. I was really wanting to get those done before our trip, and the oil change and everything. We still got to do some packing and some other small things before we go on our trip, so we're looking forward to that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. It'd be a big help. We'd really appreciate that. Please like, subscribe again, share, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye-bye.